Hello, guys. I'm back. We're talking about the horrible disease of the pride of life. And this is what Jesus was confronting in the third and the last temptation of Satan. And he said to Satan, you better not worship yourself. You need to find somebody more legitimate and somebody bigger than you to worship. Satan was trying to tempt Jesus by showing him how great he was. And Jesus refused that temptation. We said yesterday that the temptation is very easy to see in some senses and very subtle in others. The very obvious one is like the Nebuchadnezzar story where he stood and he declared, I'm the man, I have achieved so many great things, and his tree was cut down and he ended up in the pasture with the cows. Now, there are other aspects that I think are worth looking at. One day in Matthew chapter 9, Jesus is confronted by the Pharisees. And they came to Jesus and said, Jesus, we're really confused with your behavior. Why do you always hang out with the poor and the rejected and the sinners of the town? Why don't you come and chill with us? Why don't you come and sit with us in our houses and eat with us? Why do you eat with them when you could be eating with us? And Jesus could not stand that pride of association is the only word that I can think of it. I wouldn't be associated with those people. I don't want to be seen with those people. I don't want people around town to say, man, this is where he hangs out. And that word gets around town that I don't associate with the people who are something special in the eyes of the world. Again, this can be seen to be subtle, but sometimes it's glaringly obvious. And I'm sad to say the church has not done well in this regard, where we want to associate with people who are the same like of us, the same color, the same culture, the same creed, the same socioeconomical class as us. And by pure association, pride can be seen. It's something that we have to confront with brutality, and I use that word almost, I can't think of a stronger word in the church today, where the haves need to learn what it means to hang in love with the have-nots, and the have-nots sometimes have a pride of their own. Need to learn to be able to hang with the people that do have, and there's got to be a place where these two cultures meet, where cultures of language and cultures of kind are able to meet together and find a common ground on which to build. That's a good church. If you can find a church like that, that's a church worth joining. But so many times we looking for people of our own kind. Now, if you enter into this kind of thinking where we are willing to associate with people of different types and economic classes, then it comes with challenges because it's different worldviews, different ideas about what's important, different value systems. And these can sometimes go in the face of people who enter a church like that, and I agree, can be terribly uncomfortable. As you look at the different value systems they place on material things, you look at the different value systems they place on personal behavior and cleanliness and all those other kind of things that go along with different cultures, different language groups, different ways of just viewing life. And if they offend you, then refer yourself to this particular passage. Jesus commands us to love all. He came to save the world. And the world is pretty much everybody. There's nobody that is excluded from the love of God. And I want to suggest that should be how the church operates. Nobody is excluded from the love of God. In one of the other epistles, I think it is, the writer talks about when a wealthy man or woman comes to your church and you offer them the best seats, but the guy who can offer you nothing, you put him at the back, and you say, well, you chill over here because we're hanging with the important people. Do you know how much that offends God? God hates that kind of stuff. When we have a corrupted value system about who's valuable. Jesus valued everybody. The lepers, he touched lepers. Like, who would do that in this day? Who would hang around and forgive, obviously sinful people? Who would hang with those who were tax collectors and were despised by the community? Jesus did. And if Jesus did, he says, go and do likewise. Go and love what would be perceived to be the unlovely. And every country, every creed, every culture has got those who are perceived to be unlovely. The merit, the what's the word I'm looking for? The sign of true spirituality is not whether you can speak in tongues, prophesy, or raise the dead. The sign of true spirituality is finding a place amongst the poor and the rejected. I believe that strongly. I hope you'll think about it and have a good day. Bye-bye.